Coming up on WUFT Midday, negotiation efforts intensify in Washington. Lawmakers are still in a stalemate trying to reopen the government. Why it's a race against the clock for some federal workers.
One of the world's most famous museums reopens after millions were stolen from its inventory. Authorities hunt for the thieves still at large.
And new legislation could cost local governments billions with a B. More on how it could affect North Central Florida residents.
Watching WUFT Midday.
The government shutdown now entering its fourth week, making this the second longest shutdown in American history. Welcome to WUFT Midday. I'm Michael Orlando.
And I'm Marleigh Brown. Both sides are digging into harder that President Trump inviting almost all Republican senators to thank them for their work on their agenda. Alice Barr reports, caught in the middle of our federal workers, and now the community is coming together to help their neighbors get through tough economic times.
Mr. President, I've come to the Senate floor tonight.
On the Senate floor, an all-night speech on ending the government shutdown and protesting President Trump's policies from Oregon Democrat Jeff Merkley.
Now, it is our United States Constitution and our freedoms that are under attack by the President of the United States.
That as top congressional Democrats are demanding a meeting with the president to negotiate an end to the shutdown that addresses a looming spike in health care premiums for millions of Americans.
The president should meet with us. It's not me, him, or anything political. It's that the people are in crisis.
I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open.
President Trump met Tuesday with Senate Republicans united in their stance that only Democrats can end the shutdown by signing on to a short-term funding bill that's now failed 11 times.
We are going to keep voting to open up the government, and eventually the Democrats, hopefully sooner or later, are going to come around.
Lawmakers acknowledging even informal bipartisan talks have stopped.
Because there can't be another conversation that continues until we open the government.
Amid the stalemate, real pain for American families. With federal workers missing paychecks, demand is surging at food banks across the country. And now low-income SNAP food benefits are in jeopardy, with funding running out November 1st.
If those SNAP dollars get cut in half, that would mean that a local food center, food bank would have to quadruple their output just to meet that need.
A growing crisis with no end in sight. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The famous Louvre Museum in Paris reopened today. Home of some of the world's most famous artworks like the Mona Lisa, the museum closed after thieves stole royal jewelry worth an estimated $102 million. Visitors lined up and began entering the building for the first time since the heist on Sunday. The museum's director, Laurence Descartes, is facing scrutiny from the French Senate's Culture Committee. The incident has fueled national outcry over security at key cultural sites. The thieves are still on the run.
Now on social media, you may have seen an ICE agent being pulled over for a DUI stop with two kids in the back seat. That was on social media recently. For that information, let's check in with our WUFT Midday reporter, Jasmine Valcin. She's live in the studio now with a video that has some wondering how it all started.
Deputies say the driver didn't know where he was and told them he was an hour away from where he thought he actually was. Authorities say the driver, Scott Desireth, started asking questions and said he was with ICE. Deputies tried to conduct a field sobriety test, then Desireth asked the deputies about his race. During the test, Desireth was unable to walk a straight line. Deputies say he reeked of alcohol and officials pulled him over for swerving and driving into oncoming traffic.
Make sure we all sit because when it's out of the water, we don't want to get hit, we don't want you to get hit. That's why we're trying to do the exercise, that way we can move on.
Are you Haitian?
That's nothing to do with my race, buddy.
My question was, are you Haitian?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where he's from.
When they told him he was being arrested, Desireth appeared to resist and kept asking his kids and where they were still in the truck. The mother of the children came to get them eventually. The ICE agent is charged with the DUI and endangering the welfare of a child. DHS says he will go to rehab for alcohol. Live in the studio, Jasmine Valcin, WFT News.
Skies are mostly clear right now and temperatures aren't increasing too much heading into the early afternoon hours. WUFT forecaster Aiden Wacksman is live in the weather studio. Aiden, the fall season's finally starting to settle in with some low temperatures we've seen.
It definitely is a Florida fall, maybe not a northern fall, but definitely a Florida fall. We got this cold front that's moving toward us, and that is going to help bring in some cooler and drier air throughout the rest of this week. And we'll see some of that drier air move through Florida as we continue. It's going to kind of move from the north to the south, and that's actually where our winds are coming from right now. We'll take a look at some of our low temperatures from this morning. Not getting as cool as we're going to get tomorrow morning. I'll have that for you in about 10 minutes or so. But we're staying around the mid-50s for most of us as we go further to the south where that cold front still has yet to arrive, staying more toward the 60s, and it's just going to be really nice out there for the next couple of days. It's been a nice week so far. We've kind of had our first round of cooler weather, and we're going to get another round of that coming up in the next couple of days. Sitting nice at 78 degrees out there, mostly clear skies, just a great day to get outdoors, walk the dog, go to the park, do whatever you want to do out there because it's just that nice. Coming up, I'll let you know more about how much cooler we could be getting and also maybe some cooler high temperatures too, not just our low temperatures. We're also tracking Tropical Storm Melissa, so I'll have everything you need to know about that storm coming up soon.
Well, state lawmakers have proposed several ways of reducing property taxes across Florida, but leaders of Alachua County say the proposals could be detrimental to local governments. WFT's Emily Drelick breaks down what the impacts might look like.
A proposal in the Florida legislature could cost counties across the state almost $8 billion. That's according to a recent study from the Florida Policy Institute. House members are leading the charge for tax relief, targeting property taxes for those with homestead exemptions. The governor is turning up the pressure on the legislature to eliminate all property taxes.
Nobody that I've talked to is really complaining about taxes at the state level. What they're being squeezed by are taxes at the local level with the property taxes.
Counties use property taxes to pay for everything from law enforcement, infrastructure, and even parks. If House Bill 201 makes it on the 2026 ballot, it would eliminate all non-school property taxes for homestead exemptions and prohibit governments from cutting law enforcement spending. In Alachua and Marion counties, about half of all properties are homestead properties. Taxes on those homestead properties contribute to upwards of 12% of each county's budget. If that funding went away, it would be left to each county to come up with new funding sources.
You can't have a cut of that magnitude without seriously affecting services and programs and quality of life.
Alachua County Communications Director Mark Sexton questions how the state will help local governments make up lost revenue.
How will fire rescue be funded? How will the sheriff be funded? What is the alternative? That would certainly be a question for those at the state level.
County leaders are keeping an eye on the legislative cycle and say they're looking towards the next fiscal year very conservatively. Emily Drelick, WUFT News.
Lawmakers are offering 8 proposals which would reduce homestead taxes. They'll still have to make it through next year's legislative session. Then voters will need to pass the final proposal or proposals by a vote of at least 60% next year.
Gainesville police are searching for the 3 suspects they say broke into the Siegel building and caused thousands worth of damage. They released a surveillance video of the suspects Tuesday. Police say the suspects turned on a water hose, causing the building to flood. Damages are estimated to be over $10,000. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Gainesville Police Department.
One favorite seafood restaurant closed its door after decades of serving Gainesville. Alachua County's tax collectors put an eviction notice on Ballyhoo Grill on University Avenue. Court records show owners owe more than $30,000 in unpaid rent since August. They also owed more than $8,000 in unpaid property taxes. Ballyhoo has racked up 31 health code violations. Workers were accused of handling food with bare, unwashed hands. The restaurant has been open for 27 years.
Netflix recently released a documentary based on the tragic killing of Ocala mother Ajika Owens at the hands of her neighbor. The film is told through body cam videos of the Marion County Sheriff's Office and details the events that led up to the shooting that many say was racially motivated.
9 times out of 10, that lady over there probably called. Oh, I know. It's like the kids.
I was in fear for my life. I mean, honest to God, I just feared that she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, that's how I felt.
Lawrence claimed one shot Owen in self-defense, but a jury in her trial last year disagreed. She was convicted of manslaughter and was sentenced to 25 years in prison. She is currently serving that sentence at a correctional institution in South Florida.
Not everyone gets a funeral service when they die, but Alachua County officials are joining faith groups to make sure those people are remembered. In just a couple hours, the Honoring the Departed ceremony will begin. This year, 33 people are being honored at Evergreen Cemetery in Gainesville. Leaders of the Alachua County Department of Community Service are hosting the event for people who were buried with no service. The event's program manager, Satori Days, says it's important to remember those who may have been forgotten.
It's a great ceremony, a very warm and fuzzy feeling that we are recognizing and acknowledging and remembering individuals in our community that for some may feel it's the forgotten.
Alachua County and faith leaders will give speeches ahead of the service. That starts at 2 p.m. and is free for anyone who wants to go. We'll have a wrap-up for you on the event later today on WFT's First to 5.
Parents in Marion County are invited to voice their input on the next superintendent after the school board recently hired a search firm to help with the selection. Hazard Young, Atia, and Associates will assist in the school board with the selection. The firm seeks engagement from neighbors. HYA will use the feedback given to best find candidates. The county will host an in-person forum at Brown Greeton Auditorium on November 4th, as well as virtual meetings on the 6th and 10th.
Here's a quick look at Tropical Storm Melissa. Looks like a big blob right now, but should get organized a little bit later into the weekend and early next week.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Let's get a live look at traffic right now. This is I-75 about a mile south of exit 399, just outside of Alachua. As you can see, roadways are moving. It's looking a little bit packed right now. This is looking southbound. But really not too much of an issue if you're driving in this area. Make sure you buckle up and drive safely. Now let's take a look at weather with UF forecaster Aiden Wacksman. It was a little bit chilly coming into work today. Had to bring a jacket. Aiden, it's expected to get cooler.
Yes, definitely expected to get even cooler, and the two words you're going to hear me say a lot over the next couple of minutes are dry and cooler, at least for Florida. Take a look at some of these temperatures we got right now. Staying in the high 70s for most of us at the moment. Those of us to the north and along the I-10 corridor staying into the low 70s. So it's just really, really nice outside right now. Just a great day. And our high temperatures shouldn't get really anything above the mid 80s. Staying at about 84 in Gainesville, 84 also in Marion County and Ocala. Cedar Key, 78 degrees, a little bit cooler near the water. So it's just going to be a nice day really for everyone here. We also have some drier air rolling in. Some of us in Marion County and to the south of Alachua County, even in Alachua County too, staying in those mid 60s in the terms of our dew point or the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Usually we consider humid around 70 degrees, but for those of us to the north, I mean, we're talking like 54, 55 degree dew points. Really nice and dry outside and really, really low humidity. Now the cold front, that's the reason for this low humidity that we're getting and these cooler temperatures as well, continues to push through, and we'll get some winds from the north. That's just going to really fuel these Florida cold temperatures. That's what I'll call them, Florida cold, because 45, 46, that may not be really cold in the northeast, but that is definitely cold for those of us in Florida. And I will say 45, 46, this model's a little bit aggressive in terms of those temperatures. I would guess more high 40s would be more accurate for those of us in the northern parts of north central Florida, but for the rest of us, these are really, really spot on. Low to mid 50s and staying pretty cool out there. You'll want some extra layers to work, that is for sure. It's going to be nice throughout the rest of the week, as I was saying earlier, dry and nice and sunny. Look at all of this. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, staying in the high 70s, low 80s, just gorgeous weather outside. For this time of year, and fall is really starting to settle in. We're finally getting the fall season officially here in Florida, so that's always nice to see. Our high temperatures tomorrow cooling off a bit for sure, about 5 to 6 degrees cooler for most of us. Temperatures in the high 70s, low 80s as we get early into tomorrow. Now, let's take a look at the tropics really quickly. We got Tropical Storm Melissa, pretty messy storm at the moment, but it should organize and intensify as it heads through the Caribbean. It's expected to move very slowly. Right now, it's only moving at 2 miles an hour, and that trend should continue all the way through the weekend. It's a bit of a difficult one to kind of predict where it's going. Definitely not impossible. Right now, most models are suggesting guidance kind of turning to the northeast at some point after turning to the west there, but we'll keep our eye on it for you here at WUFT and let you know of any changes to the track. Our future cast, we got clouds rolling in, temperatures staying nice, and maybe a couple of clouds rolling ahead that cold front. But after that passes, it's going to be really nice out there. All you'll have to worry about tomorrow morning is maybe a little bit of fog on the way to work, so just be careful out there of some low visibility. But overall, temperatures staying nice, and that's what matters. Look ahead to the 7-day. Pretty nice out there. I'll have one final look at the weather coming up in about 10 minutes or so.
It's been a decade since a landmark study sparked new guidelines recommending peanut products be fed to young babies in order to help prevent the development of life-threatening allergies. Since then, peanut allergies have significantly declined in the U.S., according to a new study. Mandy Gaither looks at the data and how an expert says peanut products can be safely introduced to babies.
For decades, parents were told to keep peanuts and nut products away from young children until age 3. But in 2015, research caused experts to flip-flop. The current guidelines say introducing these foods in infancy can actually help prevent food allergies.
The end goal is to see this tide turn.
A new study published in the journal Pediatrics determined about 60,000 children have avoided food allergies since guidelines changed, including 40,000 children who otherwise would have developed peanut allergies. Still, about 8% of children are affected by food allergies, including more than 2% with a peanut allergy.
There's been a lot of fear.
Dr. Ruchi Gupta says that fear may have stopped some from following the guidelines, but she says parents should start introducing peanut products as soon as their baby is ready to eat solid foods, usually around 4 to 6 months.
Use like peanut butter, smooth peanut butter, and then thin it out with breast milk, formula, applesauce, whatever you desire. And then slowly introduce it to your baby. A little bit on the lip, let them lick it, add a little bit more.
Gupta says when introducing peanut products, parents should watch out for signs of an allergy like rash, hives, and vomiting. She says those are the most common symptoms in babies with a food allergy.
But if they eat it just fine, then I recommend just keeping it in their diet, keeping it in 2 to 3 times a week. And hopefully, that way they go on to enjoying it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Publix leaders say one of their ice cream flavors could set off allergies in some customers. They're recalling their vanilla ice cream, saying it could have an undisclosed egg allergen. The product is sold in half-gallon containers and has a sell-by date of June 2026. Publix leaders say they have gotten no reports of illnesses just yet. Customers can bring in the product to the store for a full refund. Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a check of our top stories for our Spanish-speaking audience.
Hola, soy Diana Rincón con tus noticias en 90 segundos. Estados Unidos suspendió su ayuda financiera a Colombia y elevó la tensión entre Donald Trump y Gustavo Petro. También se anunciaron aranceles a productos colombianos. El anuncio marca el punto más bajo en décadas para una relación históricamente estratégica. Además de los aranceles, Trump ha anulado a Colombia en la lucha antidrogas, un golpe simbólico que anticipó el quiebre. Aunque Trump no puede eliminar toda la ayuda sin el Congreso, cuenta con un amplio margen para congelar o cortar fondos, y la Corte Suprema avaló recientemente retener miles de millones en asistencia al exterior. Una nueva tormenta tropical trae riesgos de inundación en Haití, la República Dominicana y Jamaica. El Centro Nacional de Huracanes oficialmente nombró a Melissa este martes como una tormenta tropical, la cual está prevista estar sobre Jamaica y Hispaniola entre hoy miércoles y el sábado. También Haití y República Dominicana están bajo advertencia de posibles inundaciones en los próximos días. Posible huelga impacta Broadway y podría afectar sus espectáculos más grandes. Los sindicatos de actores y músicos anuncian una posible huelga ante la falta de avances en sus contratos laborales. De no llegar a un acuerdo, grandes producciones como Hamilton, Wicked y El Rey León podrían suspender funciones. Los artistas exigen mejores salarios y condiciones justas, mientras los productores intentan mantener viva la magia del escenario más famoso del mundo. Esas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizar.
This is Anthony Herrera with your Midday Sports. The Florida football team fired head coach Billy Napier on Sunday. Interim head coach Billy Gonzalez hopes to steer the Gators in a new direction.
We're moving forward. I'm very confident in our players and staff to make the most of our season, starting next week with Georgia. One of the first tasks for me was organizing our offensive staff.
The Gators are on a bye week and have their first matchup on November 1st in Jacksonville against Georgia. Games that follow are Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida rival FSU. Florida volleyball is looking to bounce back tonight as they return home for an SEC matchup against Oklahoma.
They run it fast as Auburn. So, from what I have seen so far, Oklahoma and Auburn probably run it the fastest in the league.
Even though Kentucky is having a strong season, Florida kept it close. Tonight's matchup gives them a chance to add a win to the record. First serve is at 7 p.m. in the O-Dome. Keeping up with volleyball, playoffs brought the energy last night as the underdogs thrive against their higher-seeded opponents. It was a day of sweeps as both games ended in just 3 sets. Trinity Catholic dominated Oak Hall 3-0. McKeel Academy swept Newberry, making it the second upset of the night. Tonight, there are 3 more playoff games. Make sure to catch First at 5 for more information on that. And last night, former Florida Gator and national champion Will Richards made his debut and got the game ball after the game. In just 14 minutes, he had 5 points. And that's your Midday Sports. I'm Anthony Herrera.
We still got much more news ahead for you a little later today on First to 5 on Channel 5.
For what we can expect, let's check back in with our midday reporter, Jasmine Valcin. Jasmine?
Michael and Marleigh, it's a show you will want to watch. We have a story that involves a unique situation at Marion County Animal Services. A bacteria is affecting dogs in the county that could lead to death. It's not contagious to humans, though. But if you're a pet lover, we have the details you'll want to hear at 5, so make sure you watch. Plus, if you want to meet your friends at the Alachua County Farmers Market, you're going to need to share a new pin. We're told this market has a new eco and tech-friendly location. We take you there at 5. We hope you join us, and remember, you can also watch us live on the PBS app on WFT.org. Now let's check in with Aiden for a final look at the weather.
Yeah, guys, it's looking like it's going to be pretty cool out there. I mean, jackets to work. That seems like it's going to be the vibe if you're headed out to work in the morning. Let's take a look at our 7-day really quickly. It's looking like we'll have some low temperatures in the mid-50s for those of us in our northern counties, Union, Bradford, Sewanee County. It's going to be pretty cool out there, maybe closer to the high 40s, low 50s. Also, our high temperatures staying in those high 70s, and that's just the perfect temperature for this time of year. That's what we're looking for, really. Around the high 70s, low 80s, that's that nice weather. Plus, we don't have to deal with the humidity because we have a cold front approaching. It's just a great recipe. Get outside this week, have a great weekend. It's only Wednesday, but already you're just looking ahead to some great weather coming up for you guys soon.
Aiden, I love seeing numbers that start with 7. Thanks for joining us for WFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.